Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Black Cat Crossing Podcast. The information provided in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. All rights reserved. Imagine waking up one morning to find mysterious faces staring back at you from the floor of your own home. Faces that seem to appear out of nowhere, with eyes that follow your every move. This isn't the plot of a horror movie, but the perplexing reality that unfolded in the small town of Belmez, Spain. Welcome to Black Cat Crossing Podcast. I'm Z, together with Barry and Soli. And in today's episode, we're unraveling the mystery of the Belmez Faces. The Belmez Faces, widely regarded as one of the most intriguing paranormal events of the 20th century, are a collection of creepy human faces that appeared on the floor of a modest home in the Spanish town of Belmez de la Moraleda, Spain. I know I jacked that up.
I'm so glad I didn't have to say that.
I was waiting for this part.
I didn't think I was going to have to say that.
I would have been like, de la Malala, Spain? Malala?
I am very sorry to anyone listening who lives in Belmez, Spain. Moraleda? Is that, how do you say that? Moraleda?
I would say Moraleda.
Belmez de la Moraleda, Spain, began as an inconspicuous stain in 1971, quickly transformed into fully formed faces, each with its own unique expression and characteristics. But how did these faces appear, and what do they represent? Belmez is a quiet town hidden in the rolling hills. Belmez is a quiet town hidden in the rolling hills of Andalusia, Spain, with cobblestone lanes and whitewashed buildings. It radiated a sense of tranquility and history. In 1971, this idyllic setting was rocked by an inexplicable occurrence that was going to forever change the course of its history. The Gomez family, led by matriarch Maria Gomez Pereira, started it all in their modest home. They had no idea that their modest home would become the focal point of a worldwide sensation involving ghosts and spirits. A seemingly insignificant stain appeared on the kitchen's concrete floor, which was initially dismissed as an imperfection. To the surprise of the Gomez family, though, this stain started to take on the unmistakable appearance of a human face. It is said that Mariah tried to scrub away the face, even having her husband take a pickaxe to the floor and have it re-cemented. But to their dismay, the face not only reappeared in the exact spot, but did so with a few new faces as well. Brought friends, great!
Right.
When the mayor of Belmez was informed and investigated, he forbade them from destroying it a second time, and instead had the face taken out of the floor and put behind glass on the wall for study. On November 2nd, my birthday, the house became known as the House of Faces, or La Casa de la Caras, after it was determined that a floor of excavation was necessary due to the 19th century construction of the house. Decapitated human bones were found 2.8 meters, or 9 feet, below the kitchen floor on December 2nd, 1971.
Okay, this is like the worst thing that, like, my biggest fear is, like, the house is built on a gravesite and you just didn't know about it, just like, and then you're just like, I want a garden. And then she's just like digging, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yes.
That would be terrifying.
It would, imagine.
Some theorize that the house was built on a gravesite. After more analysis of the bones, it was determined that they belonged to the 13th century, but their identity remained a mystery because there is no evidence in the local history to support where they were discovered. The hole was repaired and covered with concrete. However, the transfer of the human remains to a local cemetery did not stop more faces from appearing.
Oh, that's fun. That's
Right.
new nightmare unlocked.
I'm just going to say, sleep comfortable, kids.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, how do you manage in a house like that?
By burning it down?
As word spread, so did curiosity and intrigue, with possibilities ranging from the extreme to the mundane. Initial reactions ranged from disbelief to awe as neighbors and visitors gathered to see the strange manifestation for themselves. Some viewed the faces as divine messages or omens, while others questioned the sanity of those who claimed to witness them. In all the speculation, one thing was certain: the faces would not go away. No matter how much one tried to cover them up or dig them out, the Gomez family found themselves at the center of a media frenzy, with their home becoming a pilgrimage site for both the curious and the skeptical. As a result, the Belmez Faces legend was formed, leaving an everlasting impact on Belmez's history. The faces vary in size and expression, ranging from small, subtle features to larger, more pronounced features. Some appear serene, while others convey an unsettling sorrow or anger. Despite their diversity, all share a hauntingly lifelike quality that seems to follow observers with their gaze, adding to the uncanny atmosphere surrounding them. Over time, the faces have exhibited curious patterns and changes. Really changes? Like, could you just imagine, like, one day your face on the floor in your kitchen looks happy, and then the next day it looks grumpy, and what the heck?
Yeah.
No, I did not ask for a pet.
I hope they're paying rent. Damn.
Right? You're taking some residents.
Well, I'm sure, like, considering that it was like some type of pilgrimage or viewed as some type of pilgrimage, I'm sure that believers, particularly those that thought it was spiritual or some type of omen, would probably leave gifts and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If they don't become mad at me, then maybe I'll drop food for them.
Gotta fight the dog for it, though.
Oh my god, can you just imagine, like, you having a dog and the dog's just, like, licking the floor? It's like, what are you is that a face?
Give me kisses.
That would be horrible.
Some have vanished without a trace, only to reappear in different locations or forms.
Oh,
So, like, these
they disappear?
Right, and they're so, like, detailed that they can be like, oh, Fred was in the kitchen yesterday, but today he's in the dining room.
Oh, hell fucking no. No.
Oh my god, I should have added the photos for you guys to see. That's what I should have done.
Yeah, we definitely are gonna need photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll grab it.
Others have undergone subtle alterations with features shifting or evolving. These phenomena have fueled speculation and debate among believers and skeptics alike, each offering their interpretations of the strange occurrences.
Numerous theories and explanations have been proposed to account for the phenomenon, each offering a different perspective on the nature of the Belmez Faces. Among the most prominent is the supernatural theory, of course, which is why we're here, which suggests that the faces are manifestations of spirits or entities. They say this may be indicative to a connection to the spiritual realm, that perhaps Maria Gomez possessed a psychic ability known as photography. So for those who don't know, like myself, photography, also called projected thermography or psychic photography, is the claimed ability to burn images from one's mind onto surfaces such as a photographic film by parapsychic means. And this information is from my very good friend, Wikipedia.
That
Supernatural wiki.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me
Same.
either.
I've never heard of that.
Me either. I never would have thought that you can actually. Can you imagine how much money you would make if you had that skill? But also how shunny you would be as well.
Let me just file this term away in my mental filing cabinet of Jeopardy categories.
Shit, that never
Spooky edition.
This would be such the worst talent you could possibly have as, like, a person in the supernatural world. Especially if it was me, because I have a very sick mind.
Yeah, I kind of can see the benefits of it, though.
But how? Explain.
Yeah, okay, so for example, you know how sometimes in police investigations. They sometimes have mediums who,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so it can be a case where in identifying like maybe a serial killer, if the medium can also do photography, and they happen to judge something that maybe the serial killer has done, they could get a mental image of what he looks like or recreate the scene mentally and
But do you really
think
to
it
do
into
that?
existence.
But do you want to do that?
It's a way to make money. If you're going to have a skill you're going to be shunned for anyway that can give you money, you use it. That's what I would do. I would totally, if it was possible, I would do it. It's because I know for a fact, if I'm one in like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 that can actually do that, that pays big money, and it also solves crimes very quickly. The government would pay me. They would pay me to do that.
I don't know if the government would pay you. They'd probably be more likely to like capture you and keep you hidden in a room somewhere and study you.
Yeah.
Well, what I mean, like the government, because the police is a government entity, isn't it? It's so
Well,
that's
yes,
why I
but
figured.
no.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, do you really trust the police?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Police do a great service. I have friends who are police officers. But if they were to pull me over, I ain't fucking saying shit.
Hey,
I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing.
You see something? Didn't know nothing?
I
want my lawyer.
My whole family is made of a bunch of cops, okay? They have taught me the Fifth Amendment, okay? So, you don't say shit.
No.
Okay, that's the number one rule. Alright? You just don't say shit. And yeah, no. Let's just say, if somebody actually can do this, the government will take you. Why do you think there's only
You're getting
one?
black bagged.
Yeah.
100%.
They're not gonna be like, oh, you could do this? Have you work for us. No. They're like, I want to see what that brain can do. And then,
working for us.
No.
You would be working for them. You just wouldn't be getting paid to work for them.
You would not have an option.
And
Yes, you have no choice.
You'd be way better off, like, anonymously tipping off law enforcement
right.
and just not getting paid for it.
Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room, the skepticism surrounding the Belmez Faces phenomenon. It's natural to approach such an extraordinary claim with a healthy dose of skepticism. Either way, skeptics. And there are indeed alternative explanations and counter-arguments to consider. One of the most common skeptical viewpoints is that the Belmez Faces are simply a hoax perpetrated by the Gomez family or others seeking attention or notoriety. Critics point to inconsistencies in the story and lack of concrete get it? Concrete evidence to support. Hey there, Black Cat Crossing fans. We just wanted to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our community. Your support means the world to us. If you're loving this episode, don't forget to check out our other Black Cat Crossing outlets for even more thrilling content. Your continued support keeps us growing strong. Thanks again for listening, and now back to our exciting show. But it works. The lack of concrete evidence supporting the paranormal claims as evidence of human deception. They argue that the faces could have been created through simple means such as painting or etching, and that the supposed supernatural elements are nothing more than smoke and mirrors.
I feel like you'd be able to tell if it was a painting or an etching, though.
Yeah, you would. But like I said, after I will grab some of the images and
I mean, fair. I have not seen the images. So.
Yeah. And for our viewers, since this is going to be going up on YouTube, I am quite sure we can probably pop up an image showing what it looks like
I'm sure we
as
can
well.
pop that on
yes.
our Instagram too.
Yes.
Yes. So they argue that suggestibility and social contagion may have contributed to the Belmez Faces, with people misinterpreting commonplace stimuli as supernatural occurrences as a result of ingrained cultural expectations and beliefs. Basically, if you believe that something is possible, like through stories, if you're in a society where it is easier for you to believe in spiritual or like spiritual norms or manifestations happening, then it's easier to convince the mass public, regardless of whether they have seen it or not, that this is actually real.
Well, too, and doesn't like the human mind try to find patterns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you would just look for something you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was speaking to someone recently and I was saying I can't remember what we were talking about, but I was saying that you will see something, your mind will see something that is absolutely out of this freaking world, like something you've never ever seen before. But your mind, because it's never seen this, it will try and rationalize it and make it seem like it is something that you know or you've seen, or it makes it to make you less fearful of it, of you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Of whatever it is that you're seeing. So you could see this or like, you know how sometimes you see this figure in the corner of your eye, and maybe you really did see some shadowy figure in the corner of your eye, but your mind, because that's not possible to them, like, you know, it cannot possibly be a freaking ghost walking across, no matter how clear the image seems. In your mind, it will say to you, that's just a shadow walking the hallway, or like this, just maybe the way the not walking the hallway, but you know what I mean, like, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just like the way the sun shines in a certain angle to form that type of thing. We as a human, our brain just justifies whatever it sees to make it make sense to us.
Make it make sense.
Yes. So that's what I think as well. Okay, so I'm just so happy that, like, you know, sometimes you put thoughts out there in the universe and then it just comes full circle. I literally was speaking about this, like, what, I think maybe if not maybe last week I was talking about this and then you mentioned it. So anyway,
We digress.
yes. Citing research on how suggestion and group dynamics can affect behavior and perception, it is also suggested that the occurrence might have more psychological roots than supernatural ones. Other theories for the Belmez Faces have been investigated in later research. These have included both psychological and geological oddities. According to certain research, mineral deposits in the concrete floor may eventually combine with surrounding elements to provide the appearance of faces. But I mean, like, in all, like, all everywhere,
Yeah, that one.
the whole floor.
That one seems a little far-fetched.
Yeah. Some have proposed the phenomenon could be connected to the collective unconscious of the human mind, where the faces represent ingrained feelings and ideas. This just sounds like a whole bunch of scientists trying to rationalize something that they don't understand or they don't believe in, so they make up stuff that, you know, anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. Natural causes have been proposed as a possible explanation for these occurrences as well. Some researchers suggest that chemical reactions or geological processes within the concrete floors could have created the illusion of faces over time. And while this theory offers a more scientific explanation, it fails to account for the complex emotions and expressions exhibited by the faces, still leaving many questions unanswered. Numerous scientific research and examinations have been carried out in addition to eyewitness accounts in an effort to examine this phenomenon and determine its underlying origins. A group of researchers from the University of Granada carried out one of the most thorough studies in the 1970s. Using cutting edge tools and methods of the time, the researchers looked for any indications of manipulation or tampering on the concrete floor of the Gomez family home. Despite the lack of solid results, the research did not show any signs of human influence, which raises the potential that there is a real paranormal phenomenon. Maria Gomez passed away at the age of 85 in February of 2004, and the faces still remain, albeit faded and unclear. So can you imagine? 2004, it's still not very far away. That's literally around the corner
Yeah.
in the past. And even, I mean, what they're saying is from her death, no new faces occurred or happened, but they're still there. So I am leaning heavily towards maybe she was projecting it, or not necessarily projecting it, but emphasizing, amplifying it,
Yeah.
I should say. Because if I think too that it was on an unconsecrated gravesite, so it was being manifested through her.
Yeah, like she was psychic, maybe.
And she just
Yeah.
didn't know about it.
Yeah. So the Belmez Faces reminds me of the many unanswered questions that still exist in our world. Even with advancements in science and technology, there are still certain events that simply defy explanation, challenging our understanding of reality and pushing the boundaries of what we actually think is possible. The idea of faces materializing on a concrete floor, seemingly defying the laws of nature, is undeniably captivating, and I was so engrossed in this. I tried to get as much information as I could have when I was researching that, because I think this is probably one of my favorite episodes that we've done, simply because of how it feels. It to me, like I feel like it's more real than anything else that I could have that we've done so far. I don't know why. Like it to me, I feel like a connection to that. As wet as it is. Is that wet?
No.
No,
No.
I'm definitely gonna be like looking at my parents' garage floor now, like for faces in the concrete.
Oh no.
But you know what else some other people might argue? Like sometimes, like when you cut, like say, I think there was a few years ago somebody cut a tomato
And found
and
Jesus.
it had, yes. So it's just looking at, but for me the weird thing is, again, this was in the 1970s, and we're going based on hearsay, but also research was carried out and stuff. This is not just one face that appeared. It was several faces. And can you imagine the effort it would take to just build up a hoax like that, to put faces, and not just that, the one face, let's call the one
Fred.
face Fred, right? Fred's face changes from happy, like Z was saying earlier, to sad and then frowning. Can you imagine how much manipulation of concrete that is to do that? And then one day Fred is in the living room, not in the living room. It didn't say that it spread all over the house. It was mostly in the kitchen. So let's say one day Fred is by the stove, and the next day or the next 2 days, Fred's no longer there anymore. You look over by the dining room chair and Fred is there. The funny thing I think about this as well is that you can actually recognize the faces to put a name to the face.
Yeah.
It's like somebody you see on the road. like hi Fred.
Yeah. No, it's very untrusting.
So when you said hearsay, it took everything in me not to go objection hearsay.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Oh, I thought I was done. It was going on, and I'm not even done reading yet. Okay, so the true beauty of the Belmez Faces lies in their ability to spark conversation and inspire curiosity, like it just did then, because I went on a whole tangent on it. And each theory and interpretation offers a different lens through which to view the phenomenon, inviting us to consider our own beliefs and perspectives. So, whether you're drawn to the supernatural, skeptical of the paranormal, or somewhere in between, the Belmez Faces encourage us to explore the unknown and embrace the wonder of the unexplained. So, as we come to an end of our investigation of the Belmez Faces, I encourage you to consider your own theories and interpretations of this event. What do you suppose the cause of the phenomenon is? Do the faces originate from the paranormal? Are they fake? Are there something else entirely? Whatever your thoughts may be, I hope this journey has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to continue exploring the mysteries that surround us.
Before we wrap up, I want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in to today's episode. Exploring the mystery of the Belmez Faces with you has been an incredible journey. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to stay updated on future installments of Black Cat Crossing podcast, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform and leave a positive review. Subscribing, you'll never miss an episode and you'll be among the first to explore new mysteries and discoveries with us. And if you find today's discussion intriguing, why not share it with others who might be interested in the topic, whether it's a friend, family member, or a fellow enthusiast. Spreading the word about our podcast helps us grow our community. For exclusive content and to support the show, consider joining our Discord community and become a Patreon on Patreon or Ko-fi. The links of all of our socials can be found on the show notes below. Until next time, we will see you
In the unknown.